Amen, amen, amen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is such a joy to be together to meditate in the light. We are meditating today on a marvelous topic, be a light. And so this is part of a new series, and the subject is illumination. And the question that each of us is asking is, if we're feeling brave and like we have a good sense of humor, in the midst of my daily life, how am I invited to be a light? And so this is a teaching that all of the great teachers have shared in different words and different ways. Jesus, as you know, said, "You are the light of the world." And so I'm just going to pause and say that again and invite you to actually hear that. I mean, I know that intellectually the mind knows that, right? But allow yourself to actually feel that. You are the light of the world. And turn and face yourself. How do I experience myself? How do I feel? How do I encounter myself? What do I notice within myself? What becomes possible if I realize directly I am the light of the world? The light of the world is within me. The light of the world breathes through me. And so every last breath that I breathe is a gift from the light of the world. It is magic. It is awe. It is wonder. It is a gift that comes straight from the divine. And when we have that direct feeling and that direct realization, divine strength is with us. And so no matter what it is that we are encountering, no matter what excruciating things we are invited to move through or heal from the past within ourselves, if we truly directly turn and face the light within ourselves and directly feel the light of the world is right here, what need I fear? The light of the world is right here. There is no lack of strength ever. The light of the world is right here. So divine connectedness and divine caring and divine support is also right here. And if I allow myself truly to feel the light of the world is right here, notice what becomes possible in your daily life. And so I'm first inviting you to expand your awareness. The light of the world is right here. And now feel your way into your family situation. Whatever your family situation is, the light of the world is right here. The light of the world also is present in my brother, my sister-in-law, my uncle, my aunt, my deceased ancestors. The light of the world is present in the relatives I find it easy to encounter. The light of the world is present in the relatives who give me excellent opportunity to meditate and reconnect with the light of the world within myself. Notice what happens. The light of the world in you begins on an energetic level. So this is beyond what the human mind is able to see, beyond what human senses can see, but you can feel. Allow yourself to feel your way right now into the space of this room, into the space of everyone who's meditating online. The light of the world in me connects with the light of the world in everyone who is currently meditating. And you can feel there's an energetic network of light and support that you immediately tap into and access as soon as you feel that. So, keep that awareness on an inner level. The light of the world is right here, and the light of the world is also everywhere. The light of the world is in Wrinkle the Duck running the New York City Marathon. The light of the world is in all of the humans who were running the New York City Marathon as well, all of the spectators. The light of the world is present in the streets and the sidewalks that they were running on and standing on. The light of the world is present in the air that's breathing through them. The light of the world is present in every drop of water. that those runners drank when they were so thirsty after their run. So feel that connectedness and that support. And I'm going to share similar teaching from the Buddha, from the one who is awake. This teacher says, be a lamp. So the teaching here, be a lamp. So each of us is a lamp. We are already a lamp. We always have been a lamp. We always will be a lamp. There is nothing that we can ever do to undo the lamp that we are. And what we are inviting ourselves to do is to connect directly. So not from the level of words and not from the level of concepts and ideas, but to connect directly. When I am a lamp, how do I feel? When I am a lamp, how do I feel? When I am connected with the energy of divine awareness and insight and understanding and wisdom, how do I feel? How does that feel in my body when I am connected with divine awareness and understanding and insight? How does it feel when I am connected with divine caring, divine kindness, divine sense of good humor, divine ease, divine joy? And then just allow yourself to notice, how does that feel in my body and what happens around my heart? So when I am connected with that energy of divine caring, that energy of divine support, what does this feel like around my heart? And now what happens, and so I'm going to connect this with some other teachings shared by the Buddha, shared by the one who is awake. The Buddha says that for each of us to realize I am a lamp, and for each of us to be a lamp, it is vital to come into contact with a teacher, the teachings, and a meditation community. That coming into contact with a teacher, the teachings, and a meditation community supports us in meditating and realizing directly, I am a lamp. The lamp that I am seeking, the light that I am seeking, it's right here. And so we're turning and facing the light that we already carry, the light that we already are. And so just notice how that feels. When you turn and face that light, notice how it feels. And notice that once you face that light within yourself, it becomes possible. And so be very gentle and sort of curious and explore in your awareness. So I'm not talking about outer seeing, but in your awareness, reach out. How does it feel to notice the lamp within the other beings who are meditating right now? Notice something else. When we become aware of that lamp, that light that each of us carries, it's possible to amplify it. And so as if you were turning up the dial on that light, increasing the warmth of that light. Allow yourself to increase the warmth of your light. And you can actually feel physical effects in your body. You can feel kind of like a flush of warmth, feeling the physical body. And notice that it's possible to connect with that amplified light, not only in yourself, but in everyone else who's currently meditating. And so beyond the human mind, inquire with a spirit of playfulness and curiosity, what does it feel like to encounter that warm, intense, bright, amplified light in others? Notice how amazing that is. And notice that it is possible for all of us to take that amplified light, to connect with the amplified light in everyone, and then to raise a wave of light. And so I invite you right now to do that. Raise a wave of warmth. Raise a wave of amplified light raise a wave of divine caring and connectedness and support. And now visualize that you can send that wave of amplified light everywhere you would like to share the energy of kindness. Everywhere that you would like to share the energy of healing. Everywhere you would like to invite the light to overleap human limits and human barriers and human judgments and human limitations and human suffering and human unkindness. And notice as well, the light is stronger than the dark. And notice, we're not fighting the dark. We're turning to the light and amplifying the light, and the light heals. The light brings the connectedness into view, which is already here. The light reminds all of us of what is possible to live right in the midst of our daily life. So I'm going to tell you an open secret, which I began by sharing this morning already. The separate individual self will always feel inadequate. The separate individual self will always feel like a freak, like something that doesn't belong, like something that is shameful, like something that is not lovable, like something that is not worthy, like something that is not included. The separate individual self will always feel that way. And so for each of us, love the separate individual self back into connectedness with this truth, this reality. You could feel it. You are the light of the world. That is deeper than the illusion of separateness experienced by the separate individual self. Be a lamp. That is more real than the fear and the pain and the sadness and the trauma that every human separate individual self experiences in the realm of time and space. There is nothing wrong with you because you have experienced that. You are being human. It is not a cosmic judgment. It is not that you have bad karma. You are being a divine adventurer in the realm of time and space. You are doing research in the realm of time and space. You are going exactly where the divine has said, I need someone to go to this very dense, heavy place and see. Is it possible to be joyful? Is it possible to bring a spirit of creativity? Is it possible to bring kindness? Is it possible to bring healing? Is it possible to bring forgiveness? Is it possible to bring that expression of divine fun that is Wrinkle the Duck in his seemingly custom-made, webbed running shoes, running the New York City Marathon last week? And so for each of us, let go of that judgment, which so many teachings tell us that there is something wrong with us for being here. If only we had meditated a little more, we wouldn't be here. You are divinely loved. You are not a mistake. You are planned. The divine parent wanted you. There's no misadventure, and there's no fault, and there's no blame. You're here as a beloved, incredibly precious child of the divine. And so is everyone and everything else. So every separate individual self thinks that there's something wrong with them. They think that they have suffered more, or not had it as good, or that they are brighter or less bright. So there's always like this competitiveness, this comparison, this implicit, intrinsic judgment in all the traditions that I know about. If only you had meditated a little bit more, you wouldn't be here in the body. If only you had been a little bit more, you wouldn't have been born as this cosmic mistake, as this fall from grace. And so heal that original split. Heal that original error of perception. Love yourself back into connectedness. The light of the world is right here. The light of the world is everywhere. Be a lamp right here. Trust, and here I'm getting to a teaching from the Upanishads, the self shining. Everything shines after the self. And this is back to that network of light, which we were feeling directly earlier when we were closing our eyes. The self shining, everything shines after the self. So, and this is why the Buddha is saying it's so important to come into contact with the teacher and the teachings, which are saying, against the voices of judgment, there's nothing wrong with you. You're an expression of the shining self. And humanly, you will always make mistakes. Humanly, there will be some people you get along with and some people you don't. Humanly, you will always feel incomplete because you are. That's built into your design. So you learn to work with all the other humans. This is what the planet is invited to learn now. How can I get along with myself so that I can get along with all the other humans? So that I can work together to save my life and to save the life of every other human on the planet, if we would like there to be a human future. So every time we choose kindness, we are choosing the possibility of a future for ourselves and for our kids and for our grandkids. Every time we reach out across the things that seem to divide us, we are choosing reality in the face of all the lies about what separates us, what divides us, what supposedly makes us have nothing in common with all the others who are exactly the same as we ourselves, exactly the same beloved expressions of the divine, exactly the same one divine light here in all of this manyness. And so for each of us, this is going to take different shapes, it's going to take different forms, it's going to take different expressions. But we each know where in my life am I invited to turn and heal my deepest pain. It takes great courage to be able to turn and face the light. When you turn and face the light, what you will feel is everything in you that is not harmonious with the light. And as you nonetheless turn and face the light transforms anything in you that is not the light. This is not a one and done deal. This is as many times a day as you feel fear. This is as many times a day as you feel judgment of yourself or anyone else. This is as many times a day as you feel sadness or shame or guilt or hurt or pain or blame or resentment or resistance. And when we live in this way, we live in heaven, here. So I came across a teaching from the Zen tradition this week. Hell is not below. Heaven is not above. Hell is right here. And heaven is right here as well when we live beyond the conceptual mind. And so that teaching is telling us, heal the judgment, heal the split, heal that in you which holds yourself separate from the light. Continually turn back and face the light. Continually reach out a hand of kindness, inclusion, healing, and connection. And you know within yourself where the deepest pain is and where you are invited to reconnect to the light. So I came across a beautiful true story of this in action this week. And this was a dad walking his daughter up the aisle at her wedding. They got halfway up the aisle and he stopped and he reached out his hand to his daughter's stepdad. And his daughter's stepdad thought, oh, he wants to shake my hand. So he reached out his hand too. And the dad grabbed the stepdad's hand and pulled him up out of his seat. They all linked arms together and walked up the aisle together. And that's just a lovely, everyday family example of what each of us is invited to do within ourselves and to live right in the midst of daily life. And so each of us is invited to turn to the light and to be so steady and so bright and so warm and so secure in the light, in our own connectedness with the light, that we are able to reach out a hand across the aisle, across the divides, across the human splits, across the human separations, across the human divisions, to be the light and to reach out to the light in absolutely everything and everyone else. And as we do that, then what happens is we live in heaven right here, beyond the conceptual mind. The way that Einstein put it, he said, the thinking that created the problems is not going to create the solutions. We are being invited to think in entirely new ways. We are being invited to be in entirely new ways. And each of us is invited to do this directly from within ourselves, to practice this in community. Remember, the Buddha said meditation community is absolutely vital in having that support, in having that steadiness, in having that foundation, and practicing that. And then in living that, in going out and being that right in the midst of our daily lives, right in the midst of our tasks, right in the midst of continually facing the light, turning within, and being the light of the world in the midst of our families, being the light of the world in the midst of our workplaces, being the light of the world in consciousness. So if any news item crosses your awareness that is not anchored in this divine connectedness and divine inspiration and divine understanding, connect with light within yourself and radiate, raise a wave of light, surround and fill that situation with light. Surround and fill anyone you know who is hurting right now. Surround and fill them with light. Surround and fill your own hurting heart with light as many times as it takes. This is our eternal nature. This is our true name. And this same light is equally present in everyone. When we view that light within ourselves directly, and when we view it in everyone, the entire universe is illumination. So not the entire universe is illuminated, the entire universe is illumination. It's lit from within. Everything radiates light from within. And so each of us is invited to come back to the truth, come back to the awareness, come back to the kindness, come back to that direct, felt realization. The light of the world is here. The light of the world is present in everyone meditating. The light of the world is present everywhere, always. For each of us, how may I live that? So I reach out in kindness, in wisdom, in understanding. And the new ways of thinking, the new ways of imagining, the new ways of dreaming, the new ways of creating, the new ways of being, the new ways of living come to life right here and right now. Thank God, and God bless us all.